Welcome everyone to yet another Hearts of Iron 4 video. Today, I'm going to be talking about what my picks are for the best nations for beginners to play in Hoi 4. Let's get into it. At the bottom of the list, aka number 5 or 6, depending on how you want to look at it, I'm going to pick Brazil and Venezuela. This is simple because you are a sea away from the rest of the war. So you have freedom to really expand into the rest of South America as you see fit, and you're not going to get directly invaded by anyone. America takes a very long time to get involved in South America if you use historical focuses, which means in the meantime, you can have a ball and eat things up. I choose Brazil and Venezuela because Venezuela is fascist, so you can start declaring wars pretty quickly, and Brazil because they are a large power, the largest power in my opinion in South America, and you can have a ball of them. Wars in South America do mean you have zero supply, but at the same time, it also means that the fronts are small and compact, and you don't have too many units to worry about. This means that it simplifies the game mechanics. Now, as you'll see in future, I will be tossing away simplifying stuff over complex because I like to submerge myself in something I don't understand so that everything's new. But this is a good pick if you want to take things slow and you want to learn the game mechanics slowly bit by bit. I'd start with a South America minor. At number 4, my pick would be good old USA. I'm going to tag switch over to them right now. So I pick USA because it's a sea away from the rest of the fighting. You're guarded by the Atlantic here. Germany's never going to land soldiers in you unless it's like... No, AI Germany just doesn't get to the US. It just doesn't happen. It's practically impossible for them to make it over here. So you're just safe from the war, alright? You're a sea away, which really is so valuable for you as a new player. Because of your massive, and I mean massive industrial base, you are very good at replenishing your losses. So if you take massive losses, be it in naval battles, in the air war, or even on land, like if you get a big army encircled, you have the manpower, you have the factories to just make a new army. You really don't hurt for this stuff as the US. And finally, it's very satisfying to liberate Europe as the US. It's a good time. Now, US is best played with the Man the Guns DLC because it adds a better focus tree for them, and interacting with the naval mechanics is also really great for the US. But I'd say playing Nevada is okay still. For number 3 in my list, my pick would be the Soviet Union. Yes, the Soviet Union. You see, the Soviet Union is very large. You have a similar economic base to the Americans if you build up properly as well, which is very useful. What turns off people from the Soviet Union, I think, is just exactly how long your front is going to be, and also the fact that, historically speaking, the Soviets got pushed pretty far back before they finally turned it around. And here's the thing with that. That's kind of the point when you're playing the Soviets. Like America, you can sustain massive losses, but since you share a continent with Germany, you're essentially getting pushed back in your actual land. And you can get pushed back very far before you actually capitulate. So it's pretty forgiving in that sense. It's also forgiving in the sense that you have a ton of manpower, and you can really arm a large amount of forces because of just how strong your economic base is. Of course, there's some intricacies to the Soviet Union that you can come to appreciate. But with the Soviet Union, you'll also come to appreciate just how important building civs are, okay? People build mill factories from day one, and to that I say, it's a situational choice. generally speaking, if you can get away with it, you always build civilian factories from day one. There are very limited cases in which you build military factories to start. And this goes for pretty much all of the countries I've listed and will list. It's a very good habit to get into building civies to start the game off. They are extremely useful, and the production that you get from civies overtakes the military production that you would have gotten from building mills from day one. There are countries that do build mills from day one. It's just China. I'm not recommending China for this exact reason. I do not want you to get in the habit of building mills. It's a very bad habit to get into. For number 2 on the list, I pick the Kingdom of Romania. Now, you might be wondering, what's a Romania doing in second place? Why Romania? Well, here's the thing with Romania. You get a focus tree with Death or Dishonor. Now, I don't have Death or Dishonor, but I've played with Death or Dishonor and I understand the mechanics. So, really, with Death or Dishonor, you can go and eat the majority of Balkans. And that's really nice. You can blob really hard. Your wars are relatively small. Look at your lines. Here you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiles to worry about. Only 7 tiles. And that goes for pretty much all of your borders. You don't need to be very good at micro or managing units. You can auto plan too, because these guys are pretty weak. It gives you an appreciation for growing fast and managing political power. If you want to go down a more historical route, you can still join the Axis and Barbarossa, which is a very, very fun time. As Romania, you have a very strong power base, relatively speaking. You can single-handedly carry the southern front of Barbarossa. You can win Germany the war all on your own. You can have access to extreme amounts of power, especially if you take away parts of the Balkans here. Not only that, you have clear goals as Romania. You're not distracted by a war in Finland, or, oh, a war in Turkey, a war in Afghanistan maybe. No. You're Romania. You're focused, and you've got 2 targets. This in the early game, and this in the late game. It really helps focus the attention of the player, and I think that's a very important thing to have for beginners. Now finally, my number 1 country for beginners to play is Germany. Now, Germany goes against pretty much everything I've talked about, except the city building part. That's the only one that doesn't matter. You are not playing a forgiving nation. You have a manpower that is on the low end. Let's be honest here. Your manpower is on the low end. You don't get the same resources that the US or the Soviets get. You don't get natural resources the same. You don't have a good access to oil. You don't have good access to rubber. But what you do have is you have an excellent, and I mean absolutely excellent focus tree here. You get so many big numbers, big buffs. Mephil are a fantastic thing. Mephil are amazing. Okay. It's insane how good they are. And you can use those to pump out factories, to build up an economic base, and steamroll Europe as quickly as possible, blitz across them. As Germany, you interact with damn near every mechanic in the game. The only ones you kind of miss out on are Navy, but to be fair, like 99% of Hoi 4 players don't care about the Navy anyway, so you're not missing out on too much. You interact with tanks, you interact with aircraft, and you really get an appreciation for just how important these units are. Be they light tanks who spread out behind enemy lines in milliseconds, or be they heavy or medium tanks that can punch through a front line and just obliterate infantry. From that to air, between CAS and air superiority. If you really look at the battles, you'll notice just how big of an impact those mechanics have on fights. And it's huge. It's absolutely tremendous. Air wins wars. It gives amazing buffs. You'll really get an appreciation for this. You are under pressure from past historical events and what you have in your own mind and how other people talk about the Germans. They think, oh, you pick in Germany, easy game, you steamroll. But what if you don't steamroll? What if you get bogged down in France? Maybe even Czechs. Maybe the Czechs give you a problem. But you know what? That's okay. You're Germany. You're going to go back in there and you're going to try again. You also have a clear goal. Your clear goal is to just take out Europe, kill the Allies, win the war. It's very simple. It's very nice to have such a clear and well-defined goal to aim towards. At the end of the day, I like Germany because it's challenging for new players. I'll be honest, it's just challenging. It's a lot of mechanics and it's difficult to manage correctly if you don't know what you're doing. But I think that's the reason why you should pick Germany over everything else. It forces you to learn. Because if you don't learn, then you just insta-die. So, that was my top list of best countries for beginners in Hoi 4. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. If you have any other nations that you think are good to start with, post them in the comments below. If you have any objections with a nation I've listed here, also comment down below. I'll give you my further reasoning for why I picked them, if I feel it's necessary. So yeah, have a great one, guys. Peace.